All right. This is March 21st. It's Saturday. This is our March field meeting, and because of all the foolishness, there's just a few of us here, so we're going to put this on the website and hope everybody gets a chance to look. What we're going to do at our field meeting is install packaged bees. So there's several ways to do this, but one way to do it is what we call a nucleus hive or a nuke. Now this is just a little bottom board, goes on your nuke. You sit your nuke there, the box of your nuke, sometimes referred to as the brood chamber or a super on here. Now this is a nucleus hive, so it will hold 5 of these bee frames. These are deep bee frames. Now you can also get nukes that are medium sized, but you can put them in there. Right, you put 5 in there. Now a good way to start a package of bees is in one of these small boxes. That's not how we're going to do this today, but if you have access to a small box like this, that gives them, there's only 13,000 bees in one of these packages, so that gives them a small space. They don't have to defend the whole world. If you do it that way though, then you need to watch them, because as soon as they start getting 4 of these frames filled up with stuff, you need to move them over into a bigger box. Now, that sits like that, and then this is its lid. It just sits up here like this. Now, you can drill a hole the size of a mason jar lid in here and put one of those caps with little holes in it, and then you can screw a mason jar with your sugar water in it, and it's got a fuser already. So that's the advantage to that is to start them in a nuke, is they don't have that much extra space they've got to defend while they build themselves up. Another good thing to do, if you have drawn out comb in a deep frame, when you start, use drawn out comb. That just saves them that much work, and they can get busy starting to get ready for the nectar flow, and they don't have to make up a bunch of comb before they can do anything with it. It just gives them a head start. Okay, now this is a standard 10 frame hive. This is the deep. It's sitting on a regular old bottom board. Now the manual provided those, and as you can see, he's put moving staples on them. All this does is make it where it's easy to move the hive altogether.
Telescoping bottom.
Sorry?
It's got a telescoping bottom too.
Okay.
Bottom board.
Yeah, it's got a bottom board. Is it a screen bottom board?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a peek. You get that, Donald?
Yep.
All right. And see his bottom board. His bottom board has a frame that goes in the bottom like this. What that means is in the winter time you can close some of that or all of it up if you're worried about keeping them warm. Now this time of year we want air coming up in there, because they're going to have to, as soon as it gets a little warmer, they're going to have to keep the hive cooled down. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to pull out 5 of these frames. Excuse me. There's 1, 2, look on my shoe, I hold this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and set these over here with the one I stole out of that other hive. We're going to pull out a total of 5 frames. I've already got 3 out. There's the other 2. What that's going to do is give us room to dump these bees right in here. Now, if you're doing this at home and it's not going to get cold that night, you can use a medium super. If you don't have your hives stapled together, you can just take an empty medium super and you can let the bees out by just turning this sideways and prying this up. There's something you've got to do first though. So the first thing we're going to do, I hope, you're not supposed to punch it. We're going to pry this up. And you got to be a teeny bit careful here. Now you see here, that's just a whole can of sugar water. So the next thing we got to do is pry this can of sugar water out of it, which is easier said than done. See, there's a queen cage on the strap. You gotta be a little bit careful.
There you go. There you go.
Anybody see where my little slat of wood went to?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right. That goes back. Now, that's sugar water. You can see, you got some bees there, and you see how they're drinking that up. Now, this is our queen. And you can see there's bees all around her. Several ways to reduce a queen. If you can see that, the queen is there's sugar on one end, and there's an empty hole on the other end. Now, there's several ways to do this. I didn't bring a nail today, but you need to be able to, that queen's got to be able to get out of it. She can get out of this, out of her cage. I just poked the thing on through. And we're going to hang her right here between these two frames, just like this. Close that back up. Put another frame out of here and put it there, like that, hold her in place. You got to be careful where you're putting her. That screen has to face out so the bees can attend to her and take care of her. If you set her where that screen is up against this thing, then they can't get to her and they can't feed her. So you got to be sure the screen is facing out. And then we want to dump a bunch of bees right on top of it. Then we're going to put that stuff right down in the box. So there are. Yeah, you see why I'm wearing a suit, though.
See why I backed up too much.
Like Rick said, we don't need no suit.
I see Steve walk up there, if they get really aggressive, they might put themselves on the bed on.
The rest of these bees like that, so they can get out their box and they can fly up and go home. When the queen is in there, once they figure out where everybody is, they'll come home. Put the lid back on it. That's the inner cover. Let's see. I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's bees there's a lot of bees already in there. Telescopic cover up here like this. And we're just going to leave it right like that. And we're going to let these girls become happy. And we're just going to leave them right here and wait for the ladies that are outside to find their way in the box and come back down. And then we're going to come back and put our 5 frames back in the box. Now you can, at this point, if you want to, instead of hanging the queen cage like I did, you can cut the screen out and just go ahead and release it. A lot of people say these bees are so upset that they will take the queen without a problem. Other people say you need to give them a little time to get her adjusted. So do whatever you think is best for you. All the systems. Dr. Delaplane just directly releases the bees. Dr. Delaplane is at the University of Georgia. He's been keeping bees for over 25 years that I know about, a lot longer than that probably. All right. We're going to walk away from this right now. And does the Peanut Gallery have any questions? We leave you all behind. Somebody got to think up a question for these folks.
Do you spray that with sugar water? I mean, I've heard
we
doing
do
that.
need, and I did not bring a feeder, so we'll have to come back with a feeder. What I like to do is take this package, this sugar water right here, and I open up the can and pour it into a mason jar and put an entrance feeder on and let them have it. And they'll need more sugar water in a couple of days. You need to come back, and because these bees don't have anything. They don't have any, and it's going to be cloudy starting tomorrow and be cloudy for several days. They don't have any way to get themselves anything to eat if you don't feed them. You need to feed them. As much pollen as we have in this area right now, you probably don't need to put pollen substitute or pollen patties or any of that other stuff out, but you do got to feed them.
1-to-1, right?
Huh?
1-to-1?
Yeah, well, yeah, I feed them 2-to-1. I feed them 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. Now, Dr. Harpy at NC State at the Bee Academy Wes and I just went to said to feed them 1-to-1 or even 1-to-2, 1 part sugar to 2 parts water. And he says that more closely emulates the nectar they'd be bringing in. But in my view, I heard Jack Hamill, is that his name, say, you know, those bees got to evaporate that water down so they can put it in a thing anyway. You're just making them do extra work. Now, I'm opposed to extra work. I don't know about the bees, but I am. So I just feed 2-to-1. 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And actually, it's a little, I'll put a little more than 1 part of water, because to me 2-to-1 is too hard to get it to dissolve. So I'll put about 2 cups of sugar in there and about 1.25 cups of hot water in there, and I get it to dissolve.
You're pretty much making syrup then.
Yeah, I'm pretty much making syrup.
Don't need more. One other question, how big a hole do you punch in that queen?
I just punched, because I didn't have other way to do it, I just punched the cork all the way on through and let her out.
So as soon as you put her in there, she needs to be free to roam.
Well, I think, now there's another way to do it. You can get you a nail, which I didn't bring one with me. you can pull the cork out on the other side where the candy is and punch not punch a nail all the way through that candy. That speeds her up, eating her way out, but it leaves her in there for a few days.
Yeah.
Either way you want to do it. And you can, if you got more than one packages, you can try 2 or 3 different ways and see which one works the best for you.
That's what he was saying. I always thought they had to eat their way out.
Well, that's the way I kind of like to do it. But I mean, I'm not going to argue with a man that's got a PhD in honeybees, you know.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I know. If he wants to pull the screen off and just directly release them, I'm not going to tell him it's wrong. It's whatever, to me, you know, you talk to 100 beekeepers and there's 100 different ways of doing everything. It's basically whatever works best for you. The way we did it is the way I could do it here, and that's basically just punching that cork on out so she can crawl out of that little cage. You just got to be careful not to hurt the quick.
Yeah.
Now we're going to need to come back here. You really ought to be able to come back tomorrow and look just to make sure everything's working all right. And then you need to come back in about a week and be sure you see brood and stuff out in the box and that everything's up and running.
When are you going to put the extra frames back in?
I'm going to put them back in, 4 of these extra frames back in here this afternoon before we go home. Normally I'd wait and put them back in the next day. Just to give them a chance to get squared away. But we, you know, this ain't at my house. So, I'm going to put them back together hopefully this afternoon before we leave. And I'm going to wait a while to install this next hive until these girls get settled down a little bit.
No, you got
turn
to
the
face
camera off now.
facing opposite directions. Why you facing in opposite directions? The hive boxes.
I faced them in opposite direction. One, this hive is slanted toward the front. This hive was slanted a little toward me. If rain or water gets in there and they're slanted just a little bit, then anything that gets in there goes slide back out the front door. But the other reason is bees are coming in and out of this hive, and bees are coming in and out of this hive. They're not going to have, because otherwise the hive will look just alike. They're not going to have as much problem figuring out which hive is theirs. So if they went out that way, they know they can come back that way. If they come out this way and fly around, they know they can come around here and go back to home. So that's, you know, do something to make sure they can figure out where home is. And paint your different colors, put a pattern on them. The man at the Bee Academy says they can see patterns better than they can see pictures. So you put a pattern up there, like say it's just straight lines on one box and horizontal lines on another box, or a diamond on one box and a square on one box. They can figure that out pretty good. Their eyes don't work exactly like ours. If you look in the biology section of the book, there's a cross section of their compound eye. Basically it's a ton of little bitty tubes with a little lens at the end of each one of them, so they don't get a nice clean picture like we do. It's more like a mosaic on a wall made out of ceramic tiles. So excuse me, so their vision is not like ours at all. They have a different color range, so you got to do everything in your power to help them figure out where home is, and so they get back home with what they're working themselves to get to do to bring in. Now you can see these leaves have already begun to calm down.
Well, just keep going that high.
It's not their home, and their queen ain't in there.
Oh, they look real quick. Okay.
Yeah. And that's one reason I'm not putting in this hive yet, so these ladies pretty much get home. And it'll take them a few minutes.
On the bottom, but I didn't know if
He can pull. See, and I pulled it out on that one. I'm probably going to, just so they have more.